Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Mesoma and I'm a fifth year medical student in Nigeria. So in today's video, I'll be talking about how I prepare for my professional exams. Currently in my fifth year, like I said, I've written two professional exams and I have two professional exams left. So in this video, basically I'll be talking about how I've prepared for my two previous professional exams and likely how I will be preparing for my next professional exam. So let's get into the video. When do I start preparing for my professional exams? I start preparing for my professional exams once the year starts. If I enter third year, I start preparing for my professional exam from the third year. If I enter fourth year, I start preparing for my professional exams from the fourth year. And during my first professional exams, I actually didn't do this, but I learned the lesson after my professional exams. I was like, it's actually good to start preparing for these exams from the beginning of the year. So from the beginning of the year, I start looking at past questions, start reading to understand so that I'll be able to remember it easily when the professional exams comes. How do I decide what to study first? How I decide what to study first is through the past questions. And apart from that, I also look at those things that are common and try to digest them and try to get to know them better before the exams. Do I make a timetable or study flexibly? So for my professional exams, if I have 3 weeks, I usually make a timetable. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I make a timetable for the courses I'm going to focus on. How many hours do I realistically study during exam season? So during exam season, I see exam season from my preparation, maybe 1 month to the exam. That is the exam season. So realistically, I study from morning because we rarely have classes during the exam season. So I go to school during the day. I study from that morning, maybe around 8 a.m. till 6 in the evening. I study and I still take breaks within these hours, but the break wouldn't be more than 2 hours from that 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 p.m. So you can do the math and see how much hours I cover during the day. Then at night, I sleep. I don't study at night during exam season. I just sleep because I know that the next day I'll be off to school. Which resources do I rely on the most? So during exam season is not a time to start reading textbooks, notebooks. It's a time to focus on my past questions and the notes I've jotted down, the notes I've written. I just focus on them. My lecturer slides, I focus on them. I don't use textbooks. I don't even watch videos during exam season. I read textbooks before exams. Yes, I read textbook before exams, but not close to the exams, 1 month before the exams. Yeah, maybe when the year just starting, I use my textbooks to prepare for my exams. But I look at textbook when it's very important. Maybe there's a topic I'm confused about, and maybe ChatGPT is confusing me the more. Then I fall back on my textbook, but it's very rare. Like it doesn't occur often. How do I revise topics I have already studied without forgetting? So normally in medical school we have a lot of topics. We have tons of topics to read, and most times 90% of the time we forget. You forget what you have studied. When you open the slides, like you're seeing it for the first time. During exam season, I go back to my slides. I start reading them again. I look at past questions. I try to quiz myself. I try to just remember it till the exam morning, because there's no other way you can do it. It's not your fault that you have a lot to read in such short amount of time. How do I do when I fall behind my study schedule? So during exam season, it's very easy to fall behind your study schedule when you are not managing your time properly. Apart from maybe unforeseen circumstances like you fell sick or you had to return home for something very important and then your study schedule changed or something. But in a case whereby you have no circumstances whatsoever, you're supposed to stick to your study schedule. I rarely skip my schedule. I always try to achieve all I've written down for that day before I go to bed. So you have to be disciplined. Do I study alone or with friends, and why? During exam season, my study group we reduce the length of time we meet and the number of times we meet. When I study alone, I do a lot of revision. I want to also study with my friends, my group study. I also learn a lot. The both parts have their own advantage if managed properly. How do I stay motivated when I'm tired or burnt out? I just keep telling myself, like I said before, it's just 3 weeks. The exam must last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we are done with this exam. So I just have to push through no matter how tired I am. I just have to keep pushing through. There are some days that I think my last professional exam, I was reading and tears were coming out from my eyes because of the screen. I've spent so much time looking at the screen, reading PDFs, reading slides. This is how much I stay motivated during exam season. Remind yourself that it's just 2 weeks. It can't pass 1 month. So this exam you need to pass. Seeing yourself pass the exams should be a motivation to not give up, even when you're tired, even when your eyes are closing. You say I must pass. Biggest mistakes I avoid during exam season. During exam season, I try to stay away from any form of distraction. Anything that is happening in my life, I just push it behind and just focus on my exam. So that's the first thing I do. I avoid distractions. During exams, I have to study. I stay so much discipline. The night before exam, I don't read throughout the night. I don't stay awake at night. I try to get as much sleep as possible because in the exam hall, your brain will try to remember things that you read 3 months ago, things that you had in class, and your brain is going to be doing a lot of work. You can't stress your brain through the night and then the next morning you are trying to force it to remember something you learned 4 months ago. It's not going to work. So I avoid that mistake. I try to sleep well. What does my final week before professional exams look like? When the exam is 3 weeks away, you stay, the tension is less, 2 weeks is less, but 1 week, that week, the tension is high, So the week before my professional exams, I'm kind of tense, but then I'm also kind of relaxed. I'm relaxed because I've done my best, I've prayed, I believe in God, I trust that God is going to help me. So I feel kind of relaxed, but then my flesh, as a human being, I still feel tense because this exam I have to pass it. I don't really eat, even though I try to eat, but I don't really eat because my stress hormones are high. So I'm not able to eat so well as I do normally. My body is tired, my eyes are tired. I stay off social media during exam season. This was the last question, and we finally come to the end of this video. So if you're preparing for your professional exams, I believe and I hope you find this video very helpful. And also don't forget that you need God to pass your exams. You can't pass without God. So you need to be prayerful, pray and trust God that God is going to see you through. I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.